Okay.
Hi, Facebook.
Here we go.
The Frederick Chamber of Commerce is committed to building a progressive community which is technologically advancing, focused on agricultural, tourism, industry, and community development. Now, KYBE, the Coyote, presents Let's Talk Frederick, a special presentation
This
on
intro gets me every
KYBE
time.
by the
It's
Frederick
just so
Chamber of
good.
Commerce.
I was waiting
The
on Colt
Frederick
to
Chamber of
join our
Commerce
dance.
cares about the citizens of Frederick and the city of Frederick, and is committed to guiding the momentum of Frederick and acquiring and developing agriculture and industry, promoting tourism and an increase of quality of life. Now, let's talk Frederick with the Frederick Chamber of Commerce.
3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Welcome everybody to Let's Talk Frederick. I'm Haley Hoover, the Frederick Chamber Executive Director. And I have a very special guest today. We have Colt Heap with us.
I don't know how
In the house.
Very special.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, Brittany, as always.
Hey, I'm here. Hello.
Facebook, well, we'll do a little pan. She's there. She's there. We just can't get them all at once.
We were going to try the laptop. The laptop didn't want to be tried today.
We're going to keep playing with the Facebook tech till we get it just how I want it.
Yes.
So, so I'm going to be harassing Colt here in a minute. I kind of wanted to explain why he's here first, though.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
This is a prank. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, so we've been talking, I don't know, I guess through the month of May and now into June, talking about what the Chamber does beyond oyster fry, whatever events. Why we're important, how to join, all of those things. That's kind of my marketing goal for the summer, explaining these to people. So this week or this month, I kind of wanted to talk about, I'm not the Chamber. I'm not the only person at the Chamber. I think I hear a lot of times people, saying, oh, well, now that you're the director, blah, 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 or this director or that director. I'm like, well, the director keeps the day-to-day going, but we are so much bigger than that. And one of the things is we have an executive board. So we have 4 volunteers for our executive board. So everyone's a volunteer, except for me, I guess. I'll say that. But we have a really nice executive board. We've got Ben Crawford, Kayla Mitchell, and Cordell Keller.
All right. Yes, very good team there.
Yes. I like them. I think I'm going to keep them.
Yeah, so that's past president, current president, and incoming president, correct?
Thank you.
All right.
Was a little rusty. So then we also have 16 directors on our board. So, full transparency, I can't do anything if they tell me I can't. So, anything that the Chamber wants to do, we pass through to the board. They vote on it. They talk about it. So those 16 directors, again, volunteers from all over the community. I'm not going to name them all. I do have it listed here. But Colt is one of those directors or board members, whatever you want to call it. So I thought, you're typing this up from my computer, and I'm like, it just sounds crazy. Like, they're volunteers. Like, I know this, but I don't think people know, like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment. It's like, who does this? You gotta be crazy, right, Colt?
Yeah, but, being in a small town, you gotta volunteer or nothing gets done. And
There you go.
I think everybody listening knows that. And
Yeah.
everybody's pretty good at it for the
Yeah.
most part.
That's true. That is the perfect segue into what I wanted to ask you. So why did you decide, how long have you been on the board, and why did you decide to join the board?
So I joined in 24. So I guess my term is 3 years, 24, 25, 26. And I decided, I was approached by Ben, who most people know I work for at Crawford Abstract. And I had been back in Frederick. So for those who don't know, I lived in Stillwater, graduated college, and then moved to Fort Worth and got pretty heavily involved there. But Fort Worth is just too fast for me. So came back to Frederick, and then was pretty rooted back into what I was doing here, as far as, settled, I guess is a better word. And then Ben approached me and asked if I'd want to be involved in that because of I did have some experience as a chamber board member in Grapevine, Texas. So I thought, it was a lot of fun down there. It's obviously very different because there's just it's a much more dense population and a lot more businesses that are a part of the chamber, and they have a lot more money to do things with. But I remember thinking, why can't we have some of that here? It's not going to look the exact same because we don't have 1,200 businesses signed up for the chamber yet. But why can't we have people that are so excited to go to the chamber meetings, to go to ribbon cuttings, to see these businesses who really I don't know what they do, but I'm excited to learn, go talk to them, go find out what it is that brought them to this place. So when he asked me that, I thought, you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's see what it's about. And ever since joining, it's been a lot of fun. You get to, first of all, I left when I was a kid. 26 now. Still, some people still see me as a kid. Sometimes I see myself as a kid. But you get to interact with some people that watched you grow up as an adult and help make decisions that are hopefully in the best interest of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I served on the board actually from 2020 to 2023 when Felicia was director, and it was very eye-opening for me. It's something I'd never experienced before. I never did student council in school or anything like that, so this was a whole new avenue for me. So when I was approached to join, I was very skeptical on the fence of whether that was something for me or not, because I felt like, me on the chamber board? Are you sure you got the right person? But I went ahead and joined, and I'll tell you, during the 3 years that I was on the board, I learned so much, not only about the chamber, but about businesses in our community, and just so much beyond that. I mean, it is definitely something that I would encourage business owners, members, employees to join in on. If you don't know anything about the chamber, if you've never experienced that before, I really feel like that's something that you should do. So yeah, I was really pleased with my entire stint from beginning to end, and we really enjoyed just being able to help out with events. Mm-hmm. And something I did for the first time while on the chamber board was the breading of the oysters. Mm-hmm. And ever since we've done that, we do it every year now. Mm-hmm. It's just something that we really enjoy as a family, and the girls love it. And so, yeah, I mean, I learned a lot, and it was just a really great experience the entire time. So,
and going off of that, I think, so I've got friends that live all over Oklahoma, but the United States, and I'll tell them about everything I'm involved in, and there's something every night, right, that I'm doing. And, I'll ask them, like, well, what are y'all doing? Oh, we're going home. We're doing this. I'm like, okay, what stops you from getting involved in some way, somewhere? And they just don't know. And I feel like that could also translate to Frederick. People, saying, oh, well, I want to help, but nobody's asked me. Well, we're not just going to go ask for, a lot of times, not just going to go ask individuals for any help, right? You got to, if you want to be a part of these things and learn you love it, or learn that it's a lot of fun and it can become some sort of tradition, ask. There's always somewhere to put an extra person. We can't have 50 board members, on the chamber board, but we have committees that we have people from outside of the chamber a part of, just to get other perspectives and fill those committees a little bit. You can't have 10 people doing the work of 3,500 in a town. You want maybe, 10 people at the lead, kind of thinking of new things to do, but then you have to reach out and have those other 3,500 help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. That's why beyond me, and then you've got the executive board, you have the board, and then we also have committees. We have committees, and those may or may not be board members. A lot of times they're not. We have committees for everything you can think of: downtown beautification, We have an agricultural committee. We have oyster fry committee. We have Christmas parade festivities.
500 Club committee.
500 club. I mean, we have quite a few, and we're getting ready to kind of restructure those a bit too. So, and then you don't even have to be on a committee, but like you're saying, we need volunteers, people to help bread oysters, people to help pick up trash downtown. It's little things.
Set stuff up. I mean, for example, like the Cotton Fest. They always do a chili cook-off during the Cotton Fest. That takes a lot of prep work. There's a lot of tables to set up and chairs and all the things. And then, of course, they need judges for the chili cook-off.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Who
people
doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So, yeah. I mean, so many opportunities for you to get involved and not have to be on the chamber board.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff doesn't necessarily sound fun. Like, oh, going to pick up trash. Okay. But think about who you're going to be doing it with and those interactions. That's where the fun comes in, right? It's just like anything else. Oh, I got to go do this. Oh, I actually had fun. It's because who you spent time doing it with.
Yeah, you're forming those connections.
Mm-hmm.
My parents or my grandparents, something that they always said was, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
And I feel like through the chamber, you gain so many of those connections that are going to help you in the future. And right there, that in itself was huge for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. So what has been the best part about being on the board, either of you?
That's a good question. I told Haley to tell me these questions beforehand, so I knew what I was
Well, you don't think of them beforehand.
I would say my reason why I joined, a huge reason anyway, was because it was something that my grandparents did. My great-grandparents, or my great-grandmother was most useful citizen back in 1949.
Oh, cool.
My grandmother was on the auxiliary out at the clinic. She volunteered throughout the community in so many different ways. And so when I was presented that opportunity, of course it took me till I got a little bit older, in my early 30s before that kind of hit me like, okay, time to do some things. And because of that, I have been able to instill those values in my daughters, which is important to me. We live in a small town, guys, and like Colt said, we all have to come together to make things happen. And I want to instill that in my children. They're gonna most likely grow up here. Now, whether they choose to stay as an adult or move off wherever, that's fine. But I still want them to know wherever they are that volunteerism in the community is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a huge reason for me. That's one of the things that I have enjoyed most out of my experience, is seeing them kind of pick those values up, and they now want to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that. So that would be one of my favorite things.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. And I think one of the things I've enjoyed most about this is being informed. So obviously when you're on the chamber, you hear about opportunities coming to Frederick or what people want to come to Frederick. And going back to what you said, whether the kids want to stay here or not when they grow up, I'm on the chamber board to help give them a reason to come back, right? I came back for a reason. Love this place, grew up here. Hopefully a while from now we'll die here. It's a...
Same, because when I was young, right out of high school, I moved to Fort Worth as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed there for a little over a year, my husband and I. And we moved back to Frederick, and I would never, ever go back to big city living. No way.
Same.
I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
When you turn a 20-minute morning commute into an hour and a half,
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
out. I'm done.
No, yeah. No thanks. No thanks.
Yeah, but I love the people here, but I graduated with a lot of people that from high school that aren't coming back. That's fine. Go live your life. That's awesome. Happy for you. I want to give people my age and younger a reason to come back, right? So the first step in that is, how do we get housing, businesses, other activities, things for people to enjoy being here. And I enjoy being, people have different priorities, right? I enjoy being here because I get to drive out in the country and look at cows, or drive 20 minutes and go eat some good Mexican food. Whatever you can do. It's just everything is, for me, is here. So, but I recognize that there are other priorities and opportunities that we can hit, and that's one of the things I've enjoyed is learning how to frame that to make Frederick a place people want to live.
I love hearing that come from you, and I feel like at your age you're really setting the tone for other individuals your age to want to step up and do the same thing.
I hope so.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would like to point out too, I hear people all day long giving me ideas. The chamber should do this, chamber should do that. I love ideas. I'm an ideas girl, but it takes one person to get some. I mean, like I could have a lot of examples, but the one that always comes to mind is Adriana Lopez. And this happened while I was gone. I don't think I know her. Sorry, Adriana. If I do know you, I don't think I do. But like, she wanted a 4th of July parade. And so from what I understand, the chamber of the city was like, we don't want it. We don't want to handle it, but like, here's what you need, go do it. And so that's now been going on how many years?
I think 6.
6?
6 or 7.
I know I've came to several of them while I've been in town visiting or whatever. And anyway, it's a good parade.
Yeah.
It is a very outstanding, well done parade. And to think that's one person who's trying to make our community better.
Yeah.
And I think, whether you're a board member or a volunteer or on a committee, to me, the power of one person, just commit to one project and make that your baby. I mean, taking that ownership, taking that leadership, that one person doing that can change the whole town.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's amazing. So to bring it back to what you're saying, Cole, I mean, I've only been at the chamber a month, you guys. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm brand new, but
she's never been there before.
And I've never been there before. But in the month, I've already been very impressed with Colt as a leader in the chamber.
I will do that.
You're gonna buy me a Coke later. But I mean, even within the board, I mean, taking ownership, taking on projects, like giving your opinion, that helps the whole community. That helps me do my job. It helps all of us. Colt has been. I don't want to talk too much about it because we're still in the weeds of it?
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Very much in the weeds of it.
Into the thick of it?
In the thick of it. But Colt is our, I don't know what, I've been calling it the Downtown Dream Team. But I don't think anyone else is calling it that. What do you call it?
Downtown Development Committee.
That sounds more professional. Yeah. So.
All right.
He's helping us come up with a plan to this was one of my number one goals coming on as director, and Colt is taking initiative to help get some businesses back in downtown.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was also approached with this idea, which took it on because of just like everything we were talking about, being a part of, the thought of being a part of something that could really boost this town into the next 20, 50, 100 years
right.
is pretty neat. You grow up, just like you were saying, your great-grandma was the winner of the Citizenship Award. Having those stories to pass down, to me, is something that is irreplaceable and invaluable. So, and that, I don't know if that sounds kind of pretentious or not, but, having the opportunity to be a part of something that people will talk about is kind of neat, and it's not just me. It's, number one, the executive director of the chamber, Haley, and then my committee. We just get to put our heads together, come up with different ideas, different avenues to go down, and there's a lot of opportunity. I don't know it all. That person doesn't know it all, but when we get together, we can come up with a few different things, and it all starts with that one step, right? So we've taken first step, and I don't know, we might take a leap here soon. I mean, you just never know. So if anybody's got any ideas for downtown development, holler at me or Haley. like I said, there's always an opportunity. We just have to find the right time, the right person, the right people, really, to get it all in place. So keep your eyes open.
Yeah, it's exciting. Very exciting to think that, we could possibly have a downtown again that's thriving.
You look at some of those photos, and they're old. I get it. Even to the older generation in town, like those photos from the 40s and 50s, there's cars lined up and down, and there's a sign in every window. And even when my parents were growing up, and people their age, they talk about how awesome downtown was. What happened? Why can't we have that? Find that out, and then you find out how to counteract it, and then you can hopefully start to revive it a little bit, one building at a time. And I know everybody's going to be, maybe, well, look at those buildings. They're not in good shape. Well, nothing's in good shape.
I was going to say, of course they're not in good shape currently, but that doesn't mean they can't be.
But there might be a few that are a couple hidden gems. So, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Stay tuned.
I'm going to clip this with so many baited Colt lines. Tune in next week to find out what happens to downtown Frederick.
If we can get it done in a week, that'll be great.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Well, I think you're doing a great job. I appreciate you being on the board. All of our board members, past board members. There's a lot more weight, I would say, to the job. Probably is there more than you guys expected originally?
A little bit, yeah.
It's a responsibility.
Well, it's just you go in thinking if you're serious about it, you go in thinking, okay, I'm going to be on the board. I get to say, aye or nay or whatever,
right?
And this will be fun. Get to put this on my resume, and then you start to kind of say, oh, well, I really care about that. I'm going to get a little more involved in this. Oh, okay, now I got off work. Now I'm going to go to this committee meeting.
Right.
Okay. And if that's the route you want to take, that's awesome. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, there's a little more weight to it than you first expect. So.
Yeah, and I think Lance Bohannon was in my office the other day talking about leadership in Frederick, and years ago, I'm not going to go through the whole history lesson, but years and years ago, they had a class called Leadership Frederick that was through the chamber that Lance instructed.
Really?
Was a great program. Yeah.
I did not know that.
This was before my first time at the chamber.
Okay.
So early 2000s era. Actually, Ben Crawford went through it. So anyway, but he was saying, kind of encouraging people, okay, look at everything we're doing. My voice is going out for some reason. I haven't even started talking today. I'm just getting warmed up. But he was saying, look at all these different projects, and just the chamber alone does a million things, much less your church organizations, the school. There's so much around town. But then figure out what you're passionate about, and just focus on that. Let that be what you do. I know that's one thing I learned while being away, because I was on the chamber board at it wasn't a bigger city. It was a small town with more going on, I guess. But you can't be. I used to try to be, okay, I want to be in this group and that group and this group and that group, and that's very much my personality. But I can accomplish more focusing on one thing. And so coming back, I'm here to help the businesses. The school's great, but that's not where my passion is right now. That's not where I'm here to serve right now.
Right.
And nothing against the school. I think we have awesome schools, but you know what I mean? Or the country club. I'm a big golfer. I love the country club. That's not where I'm here to serve right now. You know what I mean? So I think finding your passion, like Colt has, he's found what he's good at, what he's passionate about, and then just taking some initiative. And I go back to the one person who's passionate, focused on something, can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
I'll shout out, I think I shouted her out on the radio last week. I don't know. But Dana Greer, okay, she, for whatever reason, is really focused and passionate right now about Artist Alley, which is next door to my building and where the hotel is, where the senior citizens eat in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's an alley there. You probably never would have noticed it. Well before I came back, Dana, I guess, planted a bunch of cannas. She's like weeded it. There's some artwork on the walls there that Karen Caldwell did one. Yeah, you
I didn't know anything about
you
this.
go check it out. Go check it out. Yeah, right in between the hotel and my building.
Okay.
And then, so anyway, well then she calls me. She found a sign that says Artist Alley, like a street sign. She, do you care if we put this on your building? I'm like, please. Next thing I know, she texts me, hey, I'm gonna, I just weeded. She weeded by hand. I mean, nasty, this tall weeds, y'all.
Oh, wow.
This whole area. Just weeded it out there one day on her lunch break or whatever. And next thing I know, she's like, hey, if I get some rocks to cover the weeds with, like, will you help? Yeah. So, like, if you go, y'all, go look at it. It's not done. She's got a lot more plans for it. But even just from where it started to where it is right now, world of transformation. It's so much nicer for the senior citizens to walk through. I mean, I walk through there, obviously, whoever, the hotel guests. That's one person with one passion, and like, it's not even, how many hours? Maybe she's put some work in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and in her spare time, and made a huge difference to our community, so.
Huge. And that kind of, that makes me think about the barn quilts and the huge... or largest barn quilt in Oklahoma that we
So
have
cool.
here on Main Street. Jeannie Scott and Annette Rowe.
Two passionate citizens.
Just, they kind of took off with that, and it is huge here now. I know I have a list of the different ones that you can stop by on the trail. They call it the
Barn Quilt Trail.
Quilt Trail. Can't talk this morning. And it is one of the coolest things. And yes, like you said, just two individuals that said, hey, we want to bring this to Frederick, and they did it, and it's amazing. Yeah. And we now have the largest barn quilt in Oklahoma.
So cool.
That's cool to say. I mean, it's Frederick, right? Everybody has their preconceived notions when you say that. I just obviously heard it before, but heard it again. Longest running talk show in Oklahoma.
That's right.
Sits right here in Frederick.
So cool.
Biggest barn quilt in Oklahoma sits right here in Frederick. We got the Abernathy boys. I mean, you've got things that Frederick is known for. Be proud of it.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was actually a guest on Town and Country on KTAT-AM back in the 1940s.
That's so cool.
So cool. Yeah.
Don't you wish they had cell phones in and we could just share that clip?
Man,
would be so cool.
that would be so cool. We don't have any of that. I'm sorry. But yeah, we have so much rich history here. And I feel like if you've grown up here and you've lived here your whole life, you got roots here, it just resonates differently, than...
Counterpoint, you might be a little too used to it. So like somebody could, like, for instance, Haley's friends from California go, oh my gosh, that little town's so awesome.
Yes.
Somebody that it's brand new to might appreciate it a little more than somebody who grew up with it. It was
Right.
So there's ways to do both. And I think if we can capture that, we can do something with it.
Definitely.
We're
Just
all
advocate.
on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole chamber message I'm spreading right now.
Yes.
And then, that's all I'm going to say, and then we're wrapping it up. Because we can talk all day. They got me fired up. I just said we're all on the same team. The last little bit of what makes up the chamber, who we are, is our members. Our members are that's how we're funded. I can't get it on me. That's how we're funded. That's very much who we exist to help.
Yep.
That's what brings our community together. That is our economy. And I'm not just talking business members, so our business members, but also we have a lot of farm and ranch members, individuals and families. A lot of families donate just on an individual basis. I think an individual donation is $40 a year. You spend that, y'all, you spend that at Sonic now.
Yeah.
So, but $40 a year can help so much. It helps us do these things. So anyway, I'm going to go too off on that. We have church memberships. We have a lot of churches around town who are members of the chamber. And, that helps me. I'm able to promote you if you're a member, but also that's the whole point, right? Like, it's more than just promotions. It's that we're able to help make a better way of living, a better way of life in Frederick because of these members. And then community organizations. So, like Operation Roundup, Lions Club, Rotary Club, they're all members of the chamber. And I say all this to share. It takes truly all of our Frederick family to make things happen and support the chamber and bring in these new ideas and developments. And
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Keep up that momentum. That's what we need to do.
We're not just here to go to your ribbon cutting, right? As chamber board of directors members, however you want to say that.
Yeah.
Reach out. If we can do anything. I don't know exactly what each business individually struggles with or has questions about, but that's what we're here to figure out together. So reach out to Haley, find a board member. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Well, this has been fun. I could keep going. We have some nice viewers watching. We have 10 views. Or actively watching. Thank you guys for tuning in on Facebook. Thank you guys for actively listening on the radio. We see you out there too. Well, we don't see you, but mentally.
And just a reminder that a little bit after we get done here, you can even go and re-listen to the audio. I mean, if you're an audio person versus, watching visual, you can go back and listen on our website, coyotenews.com. Scroll down to the archives tab. Click on that and you'll find today's edition of Let's Talk Frederick.
And Town and Country's on there too. So
Yes.
if you want to know what's going on around town and you didn't, Town and Country, just what Brittany just said.
Yep.
That's right. The link is right next door. Lots of good information. You need something to do with your kids, listen to today's episode.
Yeah, sometimes 8 a.m. is inconvenient for some people, but we make it easy for you to go back and re-listen whenever it is convenient for you.
Yep.
So
Find out all the haps on Frederick. I've never said haps in my life. Well, thank you guys. Thank you both. Colt, thank you for coming down here,
Thanks for having me.
being a special guest. Brittany, as always.
of course.
I didn't even think about you being past board members, so that was just perfect.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining.
You're very welcome.
And thank you all for listening to Let's Talk Frederick. Remember to listen online. And thank you so much for our sponsor, Bank First. You can tune in at this time every Tuesday for more news, information, and discussion about Frederick, Oklahoma, where the adventure begins.
Life has never been more challenging than right now.
Thanks, Facebook.
Destination Wedding. Buying
Like
a
and
home.
subscribe.